But
She does. She didn't bring it with her. They don't. That's what she was hoping, right?
Don't worry, I'll go.
Who would you want to be? That's right, that's right.
Mike, we can get rolling if you want. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, I had a few things I wanted to talk about. This is the meeting we've been looking for, you know, fifth one, so we got through it, appreciate it. You know, it's funny because I was listening to the scanner today, this afternoon, and Councilman Groyer, he's saving lives everywhere. Coming home from work, Belgrade, somebody's having a heart attack. You know, every time I turn around, you're on the radio or something like that. I can't imagine how many people would have lost their lives if it hadn't been for you. And we're seriously, we're lucky to have you in the town. of Oakland. It absolutely is on. Yeah. So we're lucky to have him as working in the town of Oakland for one of our volunteer part-time firefighters and working full-time in another job in Augusta. And this is what we're dealing with our part-time staff. They have full-time positions. Just to bring you up to date, Kelly has finally got down to the fact that we saved $15,000 this year with our solar array on our electric prices. So it came in higher than what it was supposed to. The savings was supposed to be around $9,000, but the system's been generating a lot of extra power. So this is all credit. So it's certainly paying its way for the taxpayers of Oakland. One thing that didn't come up that I was expecting it to come up was the ARPA. ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act. We've all heard about it. Towns have been getting large sums of money to do projects, very limited on what kind of projects. Town of Oakland this year has received $666,000. Actually, it's half of it this year. We're going to be getting the other half in another couple of months. Through a bunch of discussion that we've had through council meetings, we've decided that how we're going to spend that money is on the sewer infrastructure in our town. The infrastructure was put in town probably back in the early 1900s. A lot of it's old clay pipe. We have 800 rate users that are on that system. And currently, right now, 62% of the product that we're sending over to be traded is clean water. It's called inflow and infiltration. And what it is these old broken pipes, we've got water coming into it. We've got two spots that are really bad. We've applied for a grant through Kennebec County, $550,000, which is going to give us just over $1 million. One location is Lower Oak Street, where the railroad tracks are. We have a box culvert that goes across there. That's actually part of the sewer collection system, and it's just granite. And it's just leaking everywhere. The other spot is Lower Alpine Street. It's another run that's about 25% of our clean water that's going to water that's actually coming from that location. So that's what we're using this money for. It's very limited over what we could use it for. We could use it for broadband. We could have used it to give bonuses to our employees. That was a discussion point. We had some pretty robust discussion amongst ourselves on that. And we chose to take this money, instead of giving it to the public servants who had jobs, to give it to the taxpayers who have lost their jobs. Business will be instructed. So that's where we're going with that. Any questions or anything, feel free to ask. The other thing I want to mention is Memorial Hall. I may have touched base a little bit on it, but I just wanted to touch a little bit more. Memorial Hall, we've had an inspection. The building was found, basically it couldn't have occupants in it because of life safety code violations. We'd served a tenant who's been here for over 40 years, an eviction. He had a year to get out. We put together a committee. Kelly's on that committee with me. There's a couple of, we've got, I think, about 12 committee members. Some of them in Florida, so the meetings have been kind of slight. But our first win with that was to come up with a 7-step action plan that allowed us to maintain occupancy, which is about $14,000 for the town of Oakland, and offsets the cost of operation for the building. The goal is to find some way to fund bringing this thing back to life. This is probably the most historical monument that the town of Oakland owns. It's a Civil War monument, one of 3 in the state of Maine that's actually a building. So it has a lot of value to us, and it actually has a lot of value to the state And so we're gonna do what we can do to bring that back. The other thing that we've been working on is we're developing a downtown development plan. Several of you in here were part of our comprehensive planning process. That comprehensive plan that we developed is basically a book of projects for the town of Oakland. It's a wish list, if you wish. It's, one of the items that we identified is our downtown. So moving forward with that, we've got Central Maine Growth Council that's working with us to help facilitate the process. And we're developing a plan for our downtown so that we can turn that into a tax increment financing district, TIF district. The reason why we want to do that was back when we started looking at our downtown, the most significant building we have there is a bank block. And the bank block needs a lot of love. I mean, the thing is basically falling down. So the goal was to put a TIF district into place and get some of that tax money and be able to offer somebody a credit enhancement agreement in order to help finance or fund the project. Because it's going to take a lot of money to do it. And I think that if somebody was willing to come in and try to save that building, then maybe we should have something to do with helping that out. As it turns out, Dr. Ponitz and Gene Ponitz bought the building. They're local people. Gene's responsible for all these flowers. Don decided that he wanted to step up and do something for the taxpayers as well. This project not going to make them any money. I mean, they're going to invest a lot of their savings into it just to do something good for the town of Oakland. So this is all going to fit together at some point. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Oak Fest. We've got it going again this year. We're actually going to hold it July 22nd to the 24th. It's going to be at the same location that we had it before. The plan was to move it up to the Wrigley Park recreation area, but the problem is, part of me tells me we're not going to have it ready. And instead of trying to rush to get it all done so we can bid it up there, we'll take another year and make it right. Budget recap. You guys have been presented a big budget. Myself and my team it's a crystal ball. We don't know where things are going. We've been playing with this crystal ball for the last 2 to 3 years because of COVID. We're in it again. And this time the crystal ball is showing that things are going up and we're trying to deal with that. So, we've got positions in there. We've got pay increases. We have to do that. We're going to be looking at a new full-time fire department. That's a critical need as well because of the timing on it. So I'm going to ask you to support this budget. You've trusted us for many, many years. We do the best job we can. We want low taxes just like you do. This is my gold ring. This is how we keep Oakland moving forward. And 5 years, taxes have been 16.4 mils. And I dare you to show me a town that has been able to do that for you. So we have actually made room in this budget so that we can absorb a little bit of a tax increase. Our closest competitor is the town of Skowhegan at 18.4 mils. That's how much distance we've got right now. So I'm asking to support that. The last item is I've been the elephant in the room. And I appreciate your professionalism and your respect for me. This is tough stuff for people, and I know that. It's so foreign that it's hard for people to understand it. So thank you for being kind to me. And let's get on with it.
So for those who have never done this process, just to let you know, we'll go through the article. I'm not going to sit here and read the articles for all of them adults, but we'll read some of the whole thing. So we'll go through and we'll read the article. We will say Article 1. The council will vote on it. We'll turn it over to the chairman for the budget advisory. You vote on it. We'll continue following all the way through. Questions on that? And if you want to stop and talk about it, we'll stop and talk about it. Okay. But the budget advisory council will address Mike and talk about it. And we'll talk about it from there. Any questions?
Can I just add that when somebody is making a motion, could they
Yep.
say their name? Because sometimes if hands don't go up very far, I'm not sure who's motioning and who's seconding. So if you could do that for us, we would appreciate it.
I'll call
Call it out. Yeah.
it out. Any questions? Comments? Thank you again for all your participation tonight. Article 1, we have to choose a moderator.
Not right now, you won't.
No, we won't, but I'm just saying.
We have one
That's why I
coming up.
put it to you. You have one in mind. We're
Yes.
moving on. All right. Article number 2. Motion, Dana.
I move Article 2 as written.
Seconded by Bob. All in favor? Article 2. Mike,
All those in favor?
we already did.
You did on
5-0.
all but,
Yep.
okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Alright. Article 2. Any questions? Any recommendations?
Make a motion to accept it as written.
Second? I second it, Bernie. Ready for vote? All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 3.
I move Article 3 as written.
Motion made, we get second.
Second.
Second by Bob, all in favor? Turn it over to Mike.
Article 3. Any questions?
Motion to accept. Durback.
As written?
Yes, sir.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Angela and Justin?
Opposed?
Article number 3, check. Article number 4.
I move Article 4 as written.
Motion made, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Bruno, all in favor? Thank you, Mike.
Article 4. Any questions?
Move to pass Article 4.
Second?
Donald and Harold?
All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 5.
Move Article 5 as written.
Motion's been made, do we have a second? Second by Bob, all in favor?
Article 5, any questions? Any motions? Make a motion to accept it as written.
Second, Durback.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 6, public library.
Move Article 6 as written.
Motion's been made, do we have a second? Second by Mr. Woolman, all in favor?
Article 6, any questions? Motion?
Make a motion to accept it as written. Second, motion second.
Harold and Donna?
All opposed? I was just checking if you were asleep. Oh, it might be easy.
Article number 7, recreation.
Move Article 7 as written.
Article 7, motion made by Dave Bruno, all in favor? Second by Dave Bruno, I'm sorry. 5.
Yep, yep, thank you.
Article 7, any questions?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Turn your seconds it.
Angela and Nate?
All in favor? And opposed?
Article number 8, fire and rescue.
Move Article 8 as written.
Motion's made, do we have a second? Second by Mr. Bruno, all in favor?
Article 8, questions? Motions?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Angela and Justin?
All in favor? All opposed?
I have an extension there.
Sorry?
Were you abstained? Nope, you voted on the, okay, thank you.
Slow on.
You're slow, right?
Coming up, George. Article number 9, police department.
I move Article 9 as written.
Motion's made, seconded by Bob, all in favor?
Article 9, any questions? Motion?
Motion to move number 9. That's it.
I'll take Donna and then Justin.
All in favor?
Okay,
Opposed?
2 opposed,
2 opposed.
2 opposed.
Article number 10.
Move Article 10 as written.
Motion made, seconded by Mr. Bruno, all in favor?
Article 10, do we have any questions?
I do have a question. Directly towards Roder and or Ella.
I know we had an email that was sent out to everyone in reference to the hydrants. Did we get any response, or not necessarily response, but any?
There's gonna be no increase on the hydrants this year. We had it built into the 5%. This is gonna be a two-step system. If we cut out the last 4 hydrants on the end of the street down here, it's not gonna change our billing at all. We had a meeting with Maine Water today at 11 o'clock, and it was a great meeting. It's a good way to understand what's going on. Chief Coughlin was with us, and Dave Savage was there, Kelly was there.
What did you say about that?
I'm sorry, what was that, Dan?
We couldn't hear what you said.
We had a meeting with Maine Water today. There's gonna be no increase above and beyond what we've already built into our budget for the hydrants. And we have some hydrants that aren't working as well as other hydrants and at the end of the line, but if we cut those hydrants out, it's not gonna change the amount of money that we're gonna be paying. And it's a long conversation that we could have about this, and I don't think right now we can do it, but there's a reason for it. And it was very clear after we talked with them. PUC sets the rates. And it's based upon what it costs them to operate their operation. So if it costs them $1 million a year to operate their operation in the town of Oakland, they're gonna get that $1 million. They're either gonna get it from the taxpayers who are buying the water from them, or they're gonna get it from the hydrant rentals. Either way, they're gonna get it. And so they got an equation that how that's broken out.
Yeah, good. Any recommendations?
Motion to
Motion.
accept.
Angela
Bernie will second.
and Donna? No,
Yeah,
Name, sorry.
Nate, sorry, Nate.
perfect, that's.
Couldn't think of his name. Oh, young guy over there.
All opposed?
Article number 11. Motion made, second. Second by Mr. Wogan, all in favor?
Article 11, any questions? Motion? Motion to accept.
Motion second.
Donna?
Take care of our fur babies.
I think she-
I was just
You
slow
were
on
sliding
that.
on the eye, you were.
Article number 12. Move Article 12 is written. Second by Mr. Rudo, all in favor?
Article 12, any questions? Motions? Any motion?
I so move Article 12 is written.
It's Dan that's motioning,
Seconds?
Justin.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 13. Move Article 13 is written. Motion made, we have a second. Mr. Rudo, second, all in favor? Thank you.
Article 13, questions?
Motion to move Article 14 is this.
And a second?
Donna and
Sorry.
Angela.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article 14. Move Article 14 is written. Motion made, we have a second. Second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor?
Article 14. Make a motion to move Article 14 as written. Bernie?
Nate.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 15. Move Article 15 is written. Motion made, second by Mr. Rudo, all in favor? Opposed? Good, all in favor?
Article 15. Any questions? Motions?
Motion to accept.
Second it.
Angela and Donna.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
16. Move Article 16 is written. Comments? Anyone second?
No, one second.
Does anyone have a second?
Discussion.
Discussion?
Dave seconded.
Yes, Dave, Mr. Rudo, second. We do have a discussion, now, please.
I do want to apologize to throw this in at this time, but the speed at which we went through this and the efficiency that we did sort of caught me by surprise, and I've had some time to think about it since then. And part of it was the fact that the council, and I'm not sure how this wording came in, the council could recommend a different number. The numbers we had were based on their requests. And had I been smart, quicker, I would have made a motion to increase the amount. Now, I know that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And I understand that. I honor their opinions as well. And this has been a point of contention both ways for a long time. And we came up with a system which was hopefully going to take care of it. And it did to some extent. But I think in the quickness of it, and I've had a couple weeks to think about this, I have to at least share some things. I'm not talking about our next step with the fire department and some of the things we're trying to do with that, but it may be even more. We want insurance for things. We want to have the people protected. Well, there's some groups on here that protect us. And I'll give you a personal example. Lifeline. My grandson is alive. Lifeline. And I just don't think it's right for us as a community not to support the groups that come into our towns and provide all sorts of services. And to give them $7,500, limited to 7, and I missed some of that, and I apologize for not being quicker on the update. I think we should be contributing at least 18,000 and give 9 groups and 3,000, 2,000. I just don't think we do enough. And I know why the arguments that we shouldn't, but I guess I disagree. So I will vote against it, and I think we have to think about some of those things.
Motion is made second by Mr. Godu. All in favor? Opposed?
Article 16, any questions?
Make a motion to accept 16.
Second.
Donna and Harold.
Any questions?
I just want to make a comment about the life flight, because my father was life flighted to Bangor, and big deal for that flight, as far as insurance being charged, so. I mean, I think they recoup their costs through insurances for life flight more than an additional donation. But that's just, I'm the finance director of them, so I know what he paid. So
He paid or the insurance?
the insurance company paid.
Well, and that's where they get most of their money. It's just like the ambulance. You don't pay for an ambulance. it's the insurance company does. So it's a service that we need.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
but they're gonna
Sounds
see
like
if
that
that's
would be
what
funded
the
too.
insurance pays for it, so. We're good.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article 17. Article 17 is written. Motion is made second by Mr. Woolman. Yes. All in favor?
Article 17. Any questions? Motions?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Bernie will second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Article number 18. Article 18 is written. Second by Mr. Woolman. All in favor?
Article 18. Any questions? Motions? Motions?
Not motion accepted is written.
I'll second that.
Harold and Dan.
All in favor? And opposed?
Article number 19. Move on to 11, is written. Second by Mr. Woolman. All in favor?
Article 19. Any questions or motions? Motions.
I'll make a motion, Kelly. Kelly,
I'll second it. Favor?
Harold,
Opposed?
Donna. Donna, were you not voting? You want to be abstained?
Oh, I was reading.
Oh.
Reading
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, okay. In favor?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Mike? Okay. Article 20, please. Move Article 20 is written. Motion is made, seconded by Mr. Rhoda. All in favor?
Article 20 with questions or a motion?
Motion to pass.
Justin and Don,
Justin and Donna.
all in favor? Opposed?
Article 21. Move Article 21 is written. Motion is made, seconded by Mr. Rhoda. All in favor?
Article 21 with questions or motions?
Make a motion to remove as written.
Will take a second.
Who seconded?
Justin,
Justin. Thank you.
all in favor? And opposed?
Article 22. Move Article 22 is written. Motion is made, seconded by Mr. Nutting. All in favor?
Article 22, questions or motions?
Motion to accept.
And seconded.
Kelly and Harold.
All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Article number 23. Move Article 23 is written. Motion is made, seconded by Mr. Rhoda. All in favor?
Article 23, questions or motions?
Motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Donna and Nate.
All in favor? Opposed?
Article number 24. Move Article 24 is written. Motion is made, seconded by Mr. Rhoda. All in favor? Check. I have a discussion.
I fully support the fire department in doing whatever we can to make our fire department more up to date and update with the day-to-day operations. And just a reminder that what we're voting on here doesn't have a specific plan to do that. It allows the town to hire up to 4 full-time employees. We may not get them all at once. We may get some now and some later. But based on the warrant, it's just giving us the money to enable us to do what we think is the best way to support the fire department and provide the services.
All in favor?
Article 24, any questions?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Angela and Justin.
All in favor? Opposed?
You had to say before.
I'm nothing. I think we can
Well,
adjourn.
thank you for all your hard work. It's hard, especially your own difference of opinions and thoughts and all that, but we thank you for all your hard work and time. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, the other inside.
I know, it's a good job. This is a good budget process. I appreciate it. It's nice not being on Zoom. It's nice being here to see each other face to face. And everybody was civil. Thank you.
Kind of missed the roll call.
Yeah.
Last time we did the roll call.
No, thank
That
you.
was brutal.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate
Please
it.
come to the town meeting too.
Yeah, please. I mean, a lot of you guys don't come. It's very helpful if you do come because there will be questions. And it's nice to have you support one way or the other, however you vote. So please come.
And we will be recycling the budget books if you don't want to have it.
No coffee on it?
No comment.
Everything?
I won't know it's yours.
I know. I get a new one every year.
You might want to keep it till after the town meeting.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, right?
I don't want to go study it more.
If and when you are done with your booklets, if you do want to pass them back to us, that's wonderful, or give me back last year, if you still have